In this video, I'm going to talk about how to choose your own emotion. And yes, that's actually possible. So we are vibrating at a frequency rate. And in this chart right here, it's going to show you your exact emotion levels of the vibration rate and what that energy level is like. When events happen in our lives, emotions are engaged, which then changes our vibration rate. Now in the chart, you can see very clearly which emotions match your vibrational rate. A lot of emotions that we perceive as negative, like fear, guilt, anger, those are all vibrating at a very low frequency. And when we have energy in our lives, whatever we are giving out, we're going to receive back, and vice versa. Very heightened vibrational rates are going to do that to us as well. So if you're in an area of joy or peace, that's going to be given off to you and received back to you. That's the law of the universe. If you've ever been to a concert, whichever band or artist you are going to see, once they start getting in this high vibration, not just through the music, but you can feel it in the crowd, in the energy. Everybody's singing the same song. People are happy. You feel that. And I know what that feels like. I've felt it many times. And that's just an example of one of the vibration rates that can flow through the universe and people and things. And you give it and they receive it, and vice versa. Sometimes in life, though, there are triggered emotions through exterior situations that might have happened to you, whether that's at work or your spouse or just an instant that happened to you. Let me give an example of one of my kids. My kid's outside playing, fell off their bike, hit their head, is screaming, crying because they scuffed their head and they're going to need it cleaned up and a band-aid. Now, they're going to come running in the house yelling and screaming that they're hurt. And when they come to me, a lot of it is going to depend on how I react in that very moment. So if they're very fear-based about what's going to happen to their head and they're in excruciating pain and whatnot, if I match their energy, that's going to continue for a long time. If I can approach it in a very calm manner and get the tasks done that need to be done, a lot of times it changes the other person's attitudes, emotions, or perception on the whole situation. And that's just one example that I've witnessed a lot in life. That goes for everything in life. Although there are triggered emotions that might have been engraved since you were a little kid. So let's go back to when we were in the beginning stages of our lives and see how that looks. Now, being a kid, we are taught from society, our parents, education systems, how emotions work, what our responses should be like. Those are all things that we need to learn. And sometimes, given circumstances from, let's say, our parents, we might we might be triggering an emotion that really isn't too natural in when you get to be older. Imagine being a kid again and being told no over and over for something you wanted to do, and it triggered an emotion for you. Let's say it's sadness. Now, throughout time, that emotion is going to be no, no, no. And every single time we're going to have that sadness ingrained into our brain. Now, as we grow up, when we have a similar situation, when you want to do something in life and you're being told no from someone else, let's say it's your spouse, and it's for good intention and it's for the best. You even might know that it's for the best. But coming from someone that said no to you, that could trigger sadness again because of all those times that it happened in the past. Those are ingrained emotions that might be triggered. And yes, we can unlearn those. But since they're ingrained, it does take a lot of work and persistent work at that. Let's talk about identifying emotions, because I think this is really big. So I pulled up the chart again. And if we're looking at all these emotions, let's take joy, for example, again. Being able to identify your emotions is the first part of that. If I were to ask you, what are you feeling? And you can't say good, fine, or just okay. would you be able to tell me exactly what you're feeling? I'm not sure many people can. So first and foremost, you have to know what emotions mean. So there's three things to identifying your emotions, choosing one, and then changing how you might have that ingrained in you. The first is by identifying the emotion. And to do that, a good way is to be aware of your body. So are you feeling warm? Are you tight in certain areas? Is your heart rate going higher? Are you having anxiety? Are you feeling down for no reason? These are all things that we need to identify in order to label what type of emotion we're having. Now, we could have multiple emotions going on at a time. So we need to be able to pick one of those emotions. And I think by picking the strongest one that you're feeling is going to be the key to be able to focus. There's really no trick to choosing your action. Once you have your emotion that you focused on, you then do an opposite action of that. And or live in the present. So if you're feeling very anxious, that's just because you're living in the future or thinking of the future. So you need to be in the moment. If you're full of fear, then courage is a good opposite action of that. Any type of action that's for positive is going to automatically reroute that negative vibration to go up. And we're in charge of our emotions. That's how you change your vibrational frequency by yourself. No one else is in charge of your feelings or your emotions. The way you talk to yourself and respond are huge indicators of how your vibrational frequency is normally at. So if you have a negative response when someone comes to you for almost everything, you're going to be sitting at a lower vibrational frequency. I find myself at a very peaceful spot. Not all the time, but I know that if I have any of these lower emotions, that I can turn around with my choice and my decision, my action, at any time that I choose. And it's all part of the mind. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys soon.